I'm back with another album review. The next part of my album review series is going to focus on Fear Factory, which is a metal band from Los Angeles that's been around since '89. They're primarily industrial metal, but are also focused on industrial death metal and even pioneered the metal subgenre known as cyber metal. Their earliest work was primarily death metal with elements of grindcore. What's really cool is that a lot of their music was inspired by the Terminator movies, which makes sense if you were to listen to their music and or read the lyrics. They also frequently reference Blade Runner. Anyways, today's review is on Soul of a New Machine. This was the band's debut album, and it was when the lineup consisted of Burton C. Bell on lead vocals, Dino Cazares on guitar and sometimes bass, Raymond Herrera on drums, and Andrew Shives on bass. Granted, it was actually Dino playing bass on the album instead of Andrew. The album was recorded at Grandmaster Ltd. In Hollywood in May of '92. It was produced by Colin Richardson, who has also worked with Napalm Death, Carcass, Brutal Truth, Slipknot, Murder Dolls, Bullet for My Valentine, Lamb of God, and various other bands. Colin also did the mixing with help from Dino Cazares and Steve Harris at Fawn Studios in Sheffield, England, in June of '92. The album was mastered by Eddie Schreier at Masterdisc in Hollywood. The executive producer was Laura Porter. The engineer was Steve Harris, who had assistance from Bradley Cook and Robert Fayer. The album was released on August 25th, '92 on Roadrunner Records. I read on Kind of Music that Christian Old Wolvers had and Dino Cazares described this as a concept album about humanity's creation of a machine that can be either technological or governmental, hence the title. Speaking of which, the title comes from a review of Terminator 2, Judgment Day, when the critic described the T-1000. Now let's talk about the songs. The intro to this album is Martyr. Apparently this track is about someone dying for a cause. The next track is Leechmaster. This track is about problems with relationships. After that is Scapegoat. Dino said this is about some shit that he was falsely accused of. Next up is Crisis. What we have here is an anti-war song. Granted, anti-war songs have been a thing for decades. Up next is Crash Test. The song is about animal testing, which is something that I have always been against. That's followed by Fleshhold. The album does have samples from Full Metal Jacket, Apocalypse Now, and Blade Runner throughout. We followed up with Lifeline. Before this, the band recorded a demo album in '91 called Concrete, but that wasn't released until 2002. Right after that is Scumgrief. Some other YouTubers I really like, including James Rolfe and Alpha Omega Sin, are also Fear Factory fans. The following track is Natividad. This track features Colin Richardson, Lauren Porter, and Robert Fayer. The album was also dedicated to Natividad Cazares and Joey Cazares. The track after that is Big God Raped Souls. Concrete actually starts with this song. The track that comes next is Arise Above Oppression. Fear Factory once posted on social media that James Cameron warned us about AI in 1984, and that they've been spreading the word since '92. The track that follows is Self-Immolation. An example of self-immolation is shown on the cover of Rage Against the Machine's self-titled debut album, which came out the same year. What's next is Suffer Age. Now we're dealing with some fucked up shit because this track is about John Wayne Gacy. If that's not enough, one of Gacy's paintings was used to the cover of the album When the Kite String Pops by Acid Bath. What's after that is WOE. I think this track has something to do with drowning in the sounds of silence. What comes next is Desecrate. Now, the lyrics have to do with desecrating the Holy Church. Granted, I've never been inside a church, because I'm an atheist and we don't go to church. The second slash track is Escape Confusion. I think the lyrics have to do with animosity and terrorism. The outro to this album is Manipulation. The lyrics mention hatred being a tool, which makes sense if you think about it. I couldn't find any information on how this album performed commercially. However, I did see that Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal and Rock Hard really liked it. AllMusic, on the other hand, just thought it was okay. Now for my thoughts. I think this is a great album. I find it to be a great way to start the legacy of one of the best industrial bands of all time. What's interesting is that Ministry is just one of the bands that these guys took inspiration from. Other bands that influenced them include Napalm Death, Nine Inch Nails, Black Sabbath, Pantera, and Godflesh, just to name a few. Overall, I highly recommend this album. And now it's the part where I question you. Have you listened to Soul of a New Machine? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? What's your favorite industrial band? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.